6 o'clock, new efforts in the fight against the pandemic. CBS 17 has team coverage as COVID-19 deaths reach nearly 7,000 across the state.
Hospitalizations hit a record high for the fourth straight day, nearing 3,800. And today, Governor Roy Cooper activated the state National Guard to help in the vaccine rollout. The governor says ensuring COVID-19 vaccines are administered quickly is top priority in announcing the mobilization of the National Guard to support local health providers.
State Representative Billy Richardson wrote a letter to the governor and legislative leaders requesting emergency service of the General Assembly.
We now have the mechanism with which we can go a long way towards solving it. We just need to get the vaccine out there as quick as possible. So why not use the vast resources of our state to do what we ought to do every day, and that's care and look after our people.
State Senator Phil Berger was among those responding today.
He said in part, it's inexcusable for vaccines to sit on the shelf for as long as they have. Now that the governor is activating the National Guard, we're getting answers from state leaders about what impact this will have on getting people vaccinated.
Our Capitol reporter Michael Hyland talked one-on-one with Dr. Mandy Cohen today. Michael, you asked her why the state is near the bottom when it comes to how quickly these shots are being administered.
Right, we just got an update from the state today. About 109,000 people have gotten their first dose, but we know that about 500,000 doses so far have come to North Carolina. It comes from the CDC. So we asked Dr. Cohen what is going on with the slower than expected rollout of these vaccines. Amid a slower than expected vaccine rollout, Governor Roy Cooper is calling in the National Guard to help. Details are still being worked out, but Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mandy Cohen says that'll include help with logistics and vaccinating people. This is happening as the CDC reports the state has administered only about 25% of vaccine doses distributed here so far. Why is North Carolina trailing so many other states in that regard?
Yeah, well, first I would say, look, we're just 2.5 weeks into this, and we all share that sense of urgency of moving fast. Yes, we need to improve our operations. Yes, we want to get faster, but I think we're still in that place where we do not have enough vaccine to meet all the demands that are out there.
Was enough done on the front end in the lead up to before the vaccine arrived here to be ready for this moment?
We just learned 2 or 3 weeks ago what this vaccine was and saw that data. I think we have a lot of work to do. Doesn't mean that I'm trying to say that we don't, but I think folks are getting that operations up and running.
I got a copy of this letter the state sent to hospitals and local health departments this week, mentioning issues with the data they're sending back to the state. It says daily inventory levels and vaccination counts sometimes aren't matching up. There are also duplicate records in the system. DHHS warns any location's failure to provide accurate and complete data can impact the vaccine supply for the entire state. Do those issues need to get resolved first before we move to the next phase of vaccinations?
We're not going to let data stop us from moving fast. So if folks are ready to move, we want them to move. If the system says they haven't given out all their vaccines, we're going to make choices to potentially not give them more.
Some communities are moving to phase 1B of vaccinating people. That's for starting with people 75 and older. And I asked Dr. Cohen, are the processes in place for this, including to make sure people get notified about when they're going to need to get their second dose? And she did say it's going to be a learning process. There are going to be some issues up front, and it could take some weeks to get those issues resolved. Live in Raleigh, Michael Hyland, CBS 17 News.